Richard Gordon from Bryn in Greater Manchester, Mark Cranston from Epsom in Surrey, Alison Graham from Abbeytown in Cumbria, Shirley Scales from Dartford, Brent Peeling from Billericay in Essex, Andre Clarenberg from Camberwell in London, David Coward from Bournemouth, Margaret Justice from Beverley in East Yorkshire, Tony Long from Horton-cum-Studley in Oxfordshire, Maurice Fellows from Marsham in Norfolk, Bob Pilborough from Burnley, Philip Wardle from Maida Vale in London, Anthony Dandy from Hampstead in London, Dennis Byers from Islington in London, and Jane Crawford Baker from Worth in West Sussex are all here to play 15 to 1, presented by William G. Stewart.
Thank you. Hello. No previous winner with us today, so we'll start with a look at the finals board. There it is, with Shirley Williamson at the top and 3 names tied on 91 at the bottom. We're now looking for our first winning score above 300. Could today be today? Off we go. 2 questions each in the first round, 1 correct answer from you to survive, and we begin with Richard Gordon from Greater Manchester. Richard, the United Nations. On which divided Mediterranean island does the United Nations maintain a peacekeeping force?
Cyprus.
Mark, please. 20th century literature. Frenchman's Creek, My Cousin Rachel, Jamaica Inn. The author, please.
Daphne du Maurier.
Alison. Traditions. Which poet is commemorated annually on the 25th of January in a toast to the immortal memory?
Burns.
Yes, Robert Burns. And Shirley, please. Science and chemistry. What common name is given to solid carbon dioxide used as a refrigerant and to create smoke effects in stage shows?
Dry ice.
Brent, please. And Shakespeare. And on which Mediterranean island is the play Much Ado About Nothing set?
Malta.
Sicily. Andre, English history. The name, please, of Catherine of Aragon's first husband, the elder brother of Henry VIII. He was Arthur, Prince of Wales. David, sport. The name, please, of the Czech athlete who won 4 Olympic gold medals and set 18 world records during his career, who died in November, aged 78.
Zapet.
No, not quite, come on. No?
No.
Emil Zatopek.
Zacopek.
Margaret, please. The Timor Sea and the Great Australian Bight are parts of which ocean?
The Indian Ocean.
They are the Indian Ocean. Tony, famous virtuosos. With which musical instrument is the American virtuoso Larry Adler chiefly associated?
The harmonica.
And Morris, please. Grantley Adams is the airport and Bridgetown is the capital city of which island? The most easterly of the Caribbean islands.
Barbados.
Bob, please. Religious tradition. According to one legend, which bird was not allowed into the ark because of its incessant chattering, having to perch on the roof instead?
Cuckoo.
The magpie. Philip, please. Famous singers. Songs for Swinging Lovers, Come Fly With Me and Strangers in the Night. Albums by which American singing legend?
Frank Sinatra.
And Anthony, please. Specifically, please, which currency is used in the small state of Liechtenstein?
The shilling.
The Swiss franc. Dennis, please. Television. Which ITV comedy drama centres on 6 friends called David, Karen, Adam, Rachel, Pete and Jenny?
Friends.
Cold Feet. Jane, please. The Popish plot of 1678 was a fabricated conspiracy to murder the king and replace him on the throne with his brother. Murder which king?
Charles II.
And your second question, Richard. Norse mythology. The name, please, of Odin's horse, which had 8 legs and teeth inscribed with runes. Yeah? Sleipnir. Mark, television. Which organisation regulates and licenses all non-BBC television services?
BITC.
Yes, the Independent Television Commission. Alison, which organisation was established in 1995 as a successor to GATT, the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade?
I don't know.
The WTO, the World Trade Organization. Shirley, universities. In which town is the main campus of the University of Central Lancashire based? Preston. Brent, please. In which century did Henry Fitzaylwin become the first Mayor of London and Nicholas Breakspear become the first, and so far only, English Pope?
13th century.
12th century. Andre, astronomy. Which heavenly body named after an English astronomer is visible from the Earth every 76 years?
Halley's Comet.
David, please. Computing. In the world of computing, what does the I in CDI stand for?
I don't think.
Interactive. Margaret, please. Which Noel Coward play deals with events at a country house party given by the literary Bliss family?
Blithe Spirits.
Hay Fever. Tony, please. European cities, Heroes Square, St Stephen's Basilica and a neo-Gothic Parliament building which is modelled on the British Parliament. They are features of which Central European capital city?
Prague.
Budapest. Morris, please. Which poem by John Keats opens with the line, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever"?
No.
Endymion. And Bob, please. Music and Edward Elgar. What name is given to the group of 5 marches, which includes Land of Hope and Glory? No? Pomp and Circumstance. Philip. European monarchies. The House of Bernadotte has been the royal dynasty since 1818 in which European country?
Sweden.
Anthony, please. Art and France. Which French town commissioned the sculptor Rodin to create a monument to the burghers who gave themselves as hostages in 1347 in order to lift the year-long siege?
Lyon.
Calais. Dennis, please. The House of Commons. Currently the longest-serving MP, who announced in November that he will follow Sir Winston Churchill's example when he stands down as an MP by refusing a peerage.
Edward Heath.
And Jane, cinema. The first film he directed was The Maltese Falcon in 1941. His last was The Dead in 1987. Which American film director?
John Huston.
Yes, John Huston, yes. 4 down, 11 to go. Philip?
And they are Brent Peeling, David Coward, Bob Pilborough and Anthony Dandy. And of the remaining 11 contestants, 3 still have their 3 lives intact.
Right. Richard, let's start with this. Whipsnade Wild Animal Park, Woburn Abbey and Luton Hoo. Which county are they all in?
Bedfordshire.
A number, please, Richard.
9.
Tony, sport cricket. A batsman out for a duck hasn't scored. What about a golden duck?
First sport.
And a number, please.
15.
Mythology, Jane. By what collective name are the 9 sisters, daughters of Zeus, who are patrons of the arts and sciences known?
The Muses.
A number, Jane.
3.
Tsar Peter III was deposed in a coup in 1762, led by his wife, who herself became sovereign. Her name, please.
Anastasia.
Catherine the Great. Again, please, Jane.
8.
On which programme on ITV on Saturday evenings do contestants impersonate famous singers?
Stars in Their Eyes.
A number, please, Margaret.
6, please.
The Wonderful Visit, In the Days of the Comet, The Shape of Things to Come. Science fiction novels by which English writer?
H.G. Wells.
Yes, Andre, a number, please.
4.
What was the profession of the central character, Travis Bickle, played by Robert De Niro, as described in the title of a 1976 film directed by Martin Scorsese?
A taxi driver.
A number, please, Shirley.
15.
A young save-a-soul mission girl called Sister Sarah, the gamblers Sky Masterson and Nathan Detroit, and Miss Adelaide, a nightclub singer. Characters in which American musical?
I don't know.
Guys and Dolls. Again, please.
14.
Who is the Egyptian god of the dead, usually represented as a crouching jackal?
Anubis.
A number, please, Dennis.
6.
In French, it is called mal de dents. What do we call this common and painful complaint?
Toothache.
A number, please, Andre.
10.
Morris, why is the basilisk lizard popularly called the Jesus Christ lizard?
He's got a cross on it.
No, it can walk on water. It runs across the top there, skipping along. Again, please, Andre.
3.
Of what is zoophobia, an irrational fear?
Animals.
And a number, please.
9, please.
Hambletonian, Rubbing Down, and Molly Longlegs, 2 paintings by the 17th, 18th century artist George Stubbs. Who or what are Hambletonian and Molly Longlegs?
Horses.
Yeah, famous racehorses. Again, please.
14.
Dennis, at which annual film festival is the Palme d'Or or Golden Palm the highest prize awarded?
Cannes.
A number, Dennis.
2.
The name of which hook-shaped peninsula on the coast of Massachusetts in the USA is derived from a type of fish caught off its shores?
Cape Cod.
A number, Mark.
15.
A nephrologist is a medical specialist who treats diseases of which part or parts of the body?
The kidneys.
A number, please, Jane.
1.
Richard, sport and tennis. Who in 1977 was the last British player to win a singles title in any of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments?
Virginia Wade.
Yes, at Wimbledon. And again, please.
6.
And on the same subject, Andre, the winners of the 1987 mixed doubles title at Wimbledon were the last players to win a major Wimbledon title. Either of the 2 players, please. Jeremy Bates and Joe Dury. Again, Richard.
10.
First names, please, Morris. Dewey, spelt D-E-W-I, is a Welsh equivalent of which English name? David, as is David, of course. Again, please.
8, please.
In which country did the practice of growing bonsai trees in pots originate more than 1,000 years ago?
Japan.
It started in China. Again, please, Richard.
Number 4, please.
Founded in 1592, by what other name is the University of Dublin popularly known?
Trinity College.
Again, please, Shirley.
Number 12.
Languages, please, Philip. Dutch is the official language of one South American mainland country. Which country?
Suriname.
A number, please.
9.
Blue Flyer, Boomer and Joey are all terms used in relation to which animal?
Kangaroos.
Yes, the female, the male and the young. And onwards, Tony.
1.
USA, Richard, of course, stands for the United States of America. What formally established in February of 1861 was the CSA?
Confederate States of America.
And a number, please.
4, please.
The name, please, of the Southern statesman who became the first and only President of the Confederate States of America.
Ulysses Grant.
Jefferson Davis. Again, please, Richard.
3, please.
Alison, which European city is the setting for Mozart's Don Giovanni and Bizet's Carmen?
Barcelona.
Seville. Again, please, Richard.
8, please.
Prescription charges. Since the 1st of April 2000, what's the charge for a 12-monthly prescription prepayment certificate or a season ticket for 1 year?
£40.
£86.20. Again, please.
6, please.
An organisation providing various services for ex-prisoners. What does the acronym NACRO stand for? N-A-C-R-O. It's the National Association for the Care and Resettlement of Offenders. Again, Richard.
14.
Which gas is the most abundant gas in the Earth's atmosphere?
Nitrogen.
A number, please, Dennis.
4.
The Whitsunday Island group lies off the coast of which Australian state?
New South Wales.
Queensland. Again?
9.
Tony, which consumer magazine published since 1895 was Britain's first motoring magazine?
What car?
Autocar. Again, Dennis?
15.
Jane, which Belgian city is the commercial centre of the industrial Meuse Valley?
Namur.
Liège. Again, Dennis?
Number 1.
MBA is the abbreviation of which qualification?
Masters of Business Administration.
A number, please.
9.
English history, Tony. The fleet that met the Spanish Armada in 1588. Drake was the vice admiral. Who was the admiral?
I don't know.
Lord Howard of Effingham. Again, Richard.
Number 15.
And Jane, which evangelical organisation was founded in London in 1882 by Wilson Carlyle?
The Church Army.
Onward, please, Jane.
2, please.
And Mark, which day of the week is named after the Scandinavian goddess who was the wife of Odin and the mother of Thor?
Friday.
Yes, after Freya or Frigga. A number?
12. Please.
And Philip, please. European landmarks. The glass pyramid containing 675 panes of glass is the main entrance to which famous French building?
The Louvre.
A number, please.
1.
Richard, medicine. What name is given to the scientific study of the body's resistance to invasion by other organisms?
Immunology.
Immunology. Onwards, please.
2, please.
Mark, trees. What's the popular name for the fruit of trees of the Quercus species?
Acorn.
Yes, they are. Onwards, please, Mark.
14.
Dennis, please. The early church. According to early church tradition, in which city in Asia Minor did St. John the Evangelist spend his last years?
Patmos.
Ephesus. Again, please.
15.
Jane, please. Classical mythology. The name, please, of the legendary founder of the Roman people, the son of Aphrodite and a Trojan prince, who is celebrated in an epic poem by Virgil.
Romulus.
Aeneas. Again, please.
1.
Maputo is the capital city of which African country?
Mozambique.
And the number, please.
Number 14.
Asia, Dennis. In terms of area, which is the largest island of the Philippines?
Luzon.
And number, please, Dennis.
2.
Mark, cryptanalysis. Cryptanalysis is the study of what?
Codes.
And ciphers, yes. Onwards, please.
12.
Completed in 1918, the name, please, of the first purpose-designed aircraft carrier?
The Ark Royal.
HMS Argus. Again, please.
14.
Dennis, calendula. Calendula is the botanical name for the group of plants commonly called what?
Sunflowers.
Marigolds. Well, there you are. And after the break, Richard Gordon from Bryn in Greater Manchester, Mark Cranston from Epsom in Surrey, and Philip Wardle from Maida Vale in London will be here for the final. Do please stay with us.
The three surviving contestants in today's 15-to-1 final are Richard Gordon, a firefighter from Bryn in Greater Manchester, Mark Cranston, a doctor from Epsom in Surrey, and Philip Wardle, a retired journalist from Maida Vale in London.
Thank you. Welcome back. Richard, Mark, Philip, put your fingers on the buzzers and off we go. The royal family. The Queen has 6 grandchildren, 3 boys and 3 girls. The eldest boy and eldest girl are brother and sister. Whose children are they? Mark?
Princess Royals.
Yes, and Mark Phillips. And on we go, medical cases. In the 19th century, Joseph Merrick, a severely deformed man, formerly believed to have suffered from von Recklinghausen's disease, became better known to the public by what sobriquet? Philip?
The Elephant Man.
Royal consorts, famous quotations. Who wrote in 1840, 3 months after his wedding, I am only the husband and not the master? Richard?
Prince Albert.
Indeed, Prince Albert. And more quotations. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a... Philip?
Martin Luther King.
On we go. Sport and athletics. In the long jump and triple jump events, what is the function of the plasticine or other suitable material beyond... Richard?
To indicate the takeoff mark for the position of the athlete's foot.
Yes, OK. In other words, faulting it. Yes, OK. In case he goes over the board. Films and dealing comedies. It is discovered that a London district belongs to Burgundy in France, and the inhabitants therefore find themselves... Richard?
Passport to Pimlico.
Yes, passport to Pimlico. Question or nominate, Richard?
Nominate Mark, please.
Mark, please. History. The name, please, of the abbey founded by William the Conqueror to give thanks and to commemorate his victory in 1066.
Westminster Abbey.
Battle Abbey. Again, please, Richard.
Philip, please.
And Philip, please. Which mountain range in Russia is traditionally regarded as the boundary between Europe to the west and Asia to the east?
The Urals.
Question or nominate?
Mark.
Look at this, Mark, and tell me, who is this teenage soprano? She released her 3rd album, Dream a Dream, in November.
Charlotte Church.
Question or nominate?
Nominate Richard.
Richard, literature. Lucky Jim by Kingsley Amis, Look Back in Anger by John Osborne, and Room at the Top, John Brain. All first published in which decade?
The 1950s.
Question or nominate?
Philip, please.
Philip, sport. Formula One motor racing. The world champions, Emerson Fittipaldi, Nelson Piquet and Ayrton Senna. Their nationality, please.
Brazilian.
Question or nominate?
Nominate Richard.
Richard, classical music. The Flying Dutchman, Tannhäuser, Parsifal. The composer, please.
Wagner.
Richard Wagner. Question or nominate?
Mark, please.
Mark, religion. What does the Latin phrase Agnus Dei mean?
God willing.
Lamb of God. Again, please, Richard.
Philip, please.
South America, Philip. Which Venezuelan-born soldier and statesman, first name and surname, please, called the Liberator, is venerated in South America for assisting several countries in their fight for independence from Spain?
Simon Bolivar.
Question or nominate?
Mark.
Mark, please. In which year was the Bolshevik October Revolution?
1917.
Question or nominate?
Philip.
Philip, look at this, please, and tell me. This businessman was the founder of the electronics company Amstrad. His name?
Alan Sugar.
Yes, indeed, for Alan Michael Sugar Trading. And question or nominate?
Richard.
Richard, please. Sport and famous seconds. In what way, in 1954, was John Landy of Australia a famous second?
He was second to Roger Bannister in the sub-4 minute mile.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't in that race. He was the second man to run a sub-4 minute mile. Again, please.
Mark.
And Mark, in which Gilbert and Sullivan operetta is there a character with the title Lord High Everything Else?
The Mikado.
And question or nominate?
Philip.
Philip, Greater London has borders with 6 other counties. 2 of the 6, please.
Surrey and Hertfordshire.
And Essex, Berkshire, Buckinghamshire and Kent. You were struggling there, or some, weren't you? Question or nominate?
Richard.
And Richard, Marie Grosholz held her first exhibition in Britain in 1802. How is her permanent exhibition in London now famously known?
Madame Tussauds.
And question or nominate?
Mark, please.
Mark, Charles Dickens. I only know two sorts of boys, mealy boys and beef-faced boys. So says Mr. Grimwig in which Dickens novel?
Pickwick Papers.
Oliver Twist. Richard again.
Philip, please.
Philip, from the Malay word for sheath, what's the name of the garment worn in Malaysia and Indonesia, made from a long strip of material tucked around the waist?
Sarong.
And question or nominate?
Question.
History of the 20th century, supported by her daughters Christabel and Sylvia, who in 1903 founded the Women's Social and Political Union.
Emmeline Pankhurst.
And question or nominate?
Question.
History of the cinema, the name, please, of the British director who won Academy Awards for The Bridge on the River Kwai and Lawrence of Arabia.
David Lean.
Question or nominate?
Question.
Radio. Nick Bailey, Jamie Crick and Henry Kelly present programmes on which national radio network?
Classical FM.
Classic FM. And question or nominate?
Question.
And the European Parliament. Germany elects 99 members to the European Parliament. The United Kingdom and 2 other countries elect 87 members. One of the other 2, please.
France.
And Italy. Question or nominate?
Question.
Civil aviation. Which American city is served by O'Hare International Airport, one of the busiest airports in the world?
Chicago.
You tell me after why you're smiling. Question or nominate?
Question.
In Salford, there is a new arts centre housing the nation's largest collection of paintings and drawings by which artist, after whom the centre is named?
L.S. Lowry.
Question or nominate?
Question.
Look at this, please, and tell me, which children's charity displays the green full stop as part of its logo?
The NSPCC.
Question or nominate?
Question.
Which 2 countries occupy the Scandinavian peninsula?
Sweden and Norway.
Question or nominate?
Question.
Political history. From the passing of the Reform Act in 1832, they became known as the Liberals. How were they known before that?
The Whigs.
Question or nominate?
Question.
Astronomy. When viewed from Earth, which is the brightest planet in our solar system?
Venus.
Question or nominate?
Question.
Exploration. Which race in 1911-1912 involved 2 ships called the Fram and the Terra Nova? The race for the South Pole. Amundsen and Scott's ships. Fingers back on the buzzers, please. A velocipede was an early form of which means of transport? Philip?
A bicycle.
Question or nominate?
Question.
What word is used to describe the offices occupied by a barrister or group of barristers?
Chambers.
Question or nominate?
Richard.
The British Army. What popular name is given to the Royal Highland Regiment?
Black Watch.
Question or nominate?
Nominate.
Mathematics and geometry, Philip. What name is given to a 6-sided polygon?
Hexagon.
Question or nominate?
Richard.
Science. Which scale is used to express the acidity or alkalinity of a solution?
pH. So.
Question or nominate?
Nominate.
What in Australia are the Parramatta, the Swan and the Yarra?
Rivers.
Major rivers. Question or nominate?
Question.
Proverbs. Where does the proverb warn you never to change horses?
Midstream.
Well, there you are. You're still standing, Richard. Philip, 232, 20 for those 2, 252, position number 2 on the finals board, and I wouldn't mind betting a place in the grand final. Well done, both of you, and well done, Mark, over there somewhere. Well done, Richard. And well done, Mark. Stay there, don't go away. And we'll be back tomorrow. See you then.
Well, in fact, 15 to 1's back on Monday at 3:45. Up next, cue Richard and Carol for Countdown.